All right. Well, welcome to an episode of the Bernie Dyke podcast. Today, I got a very special guest. It's a good friend of mine I met at work. It was about a year ago. And it's one of those people when you meet him instantly, you know, like, you click. You're a very similar person and just fun to be around. So, Duran, thanks for stopping by. How do I say your last name?
Dumphries.
Dumphries. All right.
Yeah.
So, Duran Dumphries, thank you for stopping by, brother. I really appreciate it. I know it's late at night, but we made it happen. So that's the big thing. So, you know, you came here from Jamaica.
Yeah.
And I wanted to bring you on the show today. And the big thing is I always see people coming from out of the country, and they're very ambitious. A lot of times they're just so driven. And I was always so curious of what the perspective of, the United States is when you're looking at it from the outside and then when you get here. So that was one of my questions for you, is just what it's like when you finally get to the States compared to what you thought it was going to be like.
Well, overall, I used to come here as a kid first.
Okay.
Before I actually live in America. So I came to America in 2002, which is about almost 17 years now.
Okay.
To date. And when I came here, went to New York City in the Bronx. Yeah,
dove right in, dude. Right to the deep end.
Right to the deep end.
Oh my goodness.
You know what I mean? Shout out.
Was it summertime or was it wintertime when you?
Summertime.
Okay, so at least you had eased into it.
Yeah.
It's not too bad in the summer.
Yeah.
It's still it's wild in the summer, but.
Yeah, during that time for me, coming to the city, for a few years, coming to the city for the
How
first
old were you when you were doing
while.
that?
Came here at about 17.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, 17, almost 18, like 3 months away from being 18. Yeah.
Wow. What was it like growing up in Jamaica?
Jamaica was cool, Jamaica is way different from the Bronx, in certain sort, in terms of how things look and, also how things, function.
It looks like it's beautiful there.
Yeah, it's very beautiful.
Anytime you can see real blue water.
Yeah. Yeah, it's, very pretty and all, but, we that live in Jamaica, we don't really look at Jamaica, we don't share the same perception as a tourist, as a, or as a foreigner, someone outside coming in, So, Jamaica was cool, growing up, lots of soccer influences, lots of, hustling. People are always hustling, always trying to make a dime, Generally, we are nice people, very considerate society, we kind of care for each other individually as people, Yeah, and Jamaica was cool.
That's one of those things that I think that we all look at it from the outside perspective, and we definitely, I don't know the right word for it, but we probably miss it deep down, because at one point we were all probably a lot closer, where you go to the Northeast, like where you went to the Bronx.
Yeah.
Even there, you're stacked up on each other, and you're not really talking to a lot of the people. Compared to how many people are around you, you're not really talking to a lot of those people. So you get up into my, area, like same type of thing in New England. Like we care about each other and we'll help each other out. But a lot of times people aren't talking to each other, So when we see areas that look like they're more of a community, I think it's just more enticing. But it's got to be, for me, thinking to go from Jamaica to the Bronx, like that's
different.
Just,
different culture,
But that must have been exciting, because they
exciting.
glorify New York. Everywhere
True.
glorifies New York. It's the big, especially back then. It was.
Yeah. But for me, like a lot of the things were kind of new in terms of culturally. I say, because that time for me, even though I was always influenced by hip hop and such. I was still deep rooted into the Jamaican culture, because that's all I've been living. You know, that's, you know, most of what I know. You know, until coming to the Bronx, where culturally now you start meet different things and you start get introduced to different things. You know, in a different, you know, different words, different everything. You know, it's like a culture shock.
I was gonna say they have their own culture.
Yeah. Everything.
And I mean, all those boroughs, all those different areas are. I mean, you go to Harlem, it's totally different. In Queens, their slang and how they talk is totally different than when you're in Brooklyn or in the Bronx, and especially back then because it was like it was a big deal. It was more of a big deal when you were there, where you were from, than I think it is now. They just, you know, they're moving. All the white people are trying to move into areas like that and make it all like yuppie and. I mean, which it looks nice. They're trying to bring all the Starbucks and all the crazy stuff in there, and I don't know. I mean.
I get what you're saying.
I used to spend a lot of time in New York moving furniture, so we would go into some of those areas and go through like Spanish Harlem and stuff like that. And
definitely.
It's wild, but at the same time, like you said, like nobody's really going to... I mean, we got out of there before dark a lot of times, but you weren't getting out of there at dark. It wasn't always nice for you living there either.
No, it wasn't always nice for me living there because from the very beginning, you know... I came here, you know, coming to my aunt because I left my parents back in Jamaica, you know. So my mom and dad, I left them in Jamaica. Coming to America, you know, to stay with the aunt, you know, and her immediate family, her husband, her kids, you know. So, I mean, me coming here at 18, you know, during them times, my aunt was basically like, yo, you're on your own, you know. Yeah, because I have my family and you're a grown man, you know. Even though legally I was
still bound to her.
Yeah, I mean, still bound to her. But, you know, I'm a grown kid, but I'm not a big man yet. You know? So it's like, say, I came here to she in the care of her. So she don't really want me to get involved in anything, you know, while she's technically responsible for me because I leave my parents in Jamaica and come with her, you know. But at the same time, it's like, due to the situation, you know, I am a big guy, you know. I want to work and, you know, create things for myself.
Why'd you come here?
Well, leaving Jamaica, in you know, the reason for coming here is leaving high school in Jamaica. You know, at that time, finally left high school and I didn't know what to expect in Jamaica, you know. I didn't know what to expect. I mean, I was still young and I had the opportunity to come here, you know. I had a visa during them times, so I said, you know what, I'd rather roll the dice in America, more than, you know, after the summer, when everybody start going back to school and work again, you know. What am I going to do, you know? It's like, either I have to go out there to and go find a 9 to 5 or, you know, so I never really know what to expect. So I said, you know what, I'd rather take my chances in America. You know, I had a visa. You know, my parents don't, you know, basically is giving me the opportunity like, yo, you know, you finished with school. So if you want to go to America, go. And, you know.
That's crazy.
See, you know, roll
But
the dice.
I mean, that's definitely, so how long were you there? How long were you in the Bronx? It was the Bronx, right?
Yeah, the Bronx. Well, I used to on and off. I used to always go back and forth, you know. So sometimes I would, you know, first I did like my first 2 years there. And then after that, I would go to Florida, you know, because I have my bro in Florida. You know what I mean? Yeah, so then I would go to Florida, do like 8 months, then come back to the city again, you know. Be in the city for like another 8 months, you know what I mean? And, you know, just back and forth in, you know. Yeah.
Man.
Yeah. Then eventually, you know, I ended up in LA, ended up on the West Coast, you know, for about 10 months, you know. Back to Florida, you know what I mean? Yeah, I was just
Florida's crazy.
Yeah, but I like Florida though.
Florida's crazy.
Cool. Florida's cool though. Florida is pretty dope to me.
It's definitely a wild state.
It
used to go down there, and I mean, it's one of those things. Like every time you look on the internet and you see one of those like crazy videos, or you read a wild headline, you're like, where?
Yeah,
So you
Florida.
know it's in Florida.
Yeah, like my man Charlemagne said, either Florida or the Bronx. And it's true, though. That's the funny thing. The funny thing is, it's true.
It is, because like we just
Yeah,
looked at one the other day that it was, what was it? It was these two dudes that they, like, he crashed into one of them and then like went over a bridge in the Bronx, and it's just like, and it was in Tampa. And then like there was another one, two dudes like jumped out of a car, took off running, and like jumped over a bridge, and like didn't know it was like a 70-foot drop. It was a flood. Like it's every time, or it's like a alligator that wouldn't fit in this room, and you're just like, Jesus,
some shit.
That's just crazy.
Always some shit.
It is.
And to me, like you said, you know, leaving from Jamaica and coming to the Bronx is like, after being in the Bronx for, you know, not long. Not even long, you know, but I was young too. So it's kind of like I'm young, you know, I've never really, you know, having a real job before, or, you know, if I do, I'm just about to get a job, you know, as a kid in the Bronx, you know. To me, overall, the Bronx makes you brave as shit. Yeah, after you lived in the Bronx, you could go anywhere in the world and live.
Oh,
yeah, you ain't got to worry about trust me. Yeah, it was like that to me. So coming from Kingston, Spanish Town, the Bronx is like, you know, like.
What'd you do for work there?
Where at?
In the Bronx.
In the Bronx? You know, well, like I said, went there young. So when I went there, you know, I got a little job in the very beginning. You know, the first job I got, shout out to the homie Ray, you know, Ray pulled it, you know. He had a job, a friend of mine introduced me to a friend of theirs, and then, you know, whatever, I got a job as a, I was like, you know, when they weld, they need someone to like grind the welding.
Yeah.
It's like smooth it out a little bit. Yeah, so I had like the grinding machine. Yeah, so that's my first job.
Bro, they got jobs out there.
Bro.
Like, you're going to work. They're always doing some kind of
Yeah.
construction or...
But yo, on some real, after the first 2 days on that job, I said, nah, that's it. Yeah, bro, because yo, first day I went on that job, when the work was over, I'm going home, my hands shaking like this. I'm like, what the fuck? Yo, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The next day came back on it, same shit. I'm like, nah, I can't do this. By the third day, I got me another job. Yeah, on the second day when I went back to the neighborhood, I seen a friend, gave him the talk. He believed in me, you know. Them times I'm young, you know, and for some reason these people, you know, have some type of respect for me. You know? Yeah, I don't know why, you know. Well, maybe because how, you know,
it's wild how that happens.
How I carry myself. You know what I mean?
You conduct. You definitely carry yourself well.
Yeah,
so Florida's, you know, so you go there and go spend time with your brother down there.
Brother down there.
Okay, and then you ended up in Cali.
Ended up in Cali.
How long were you there before you ended up over here?
In Cali?
Yeah.
I didn't I didn't came here from Cali.
Oh no, you didn't.
Nah.
Okay.
Nah.
Where'd you come here from?
From Florida.
Oh, so you were back in Florida.
Yeah, back and forth. Like I said, you know, I'm a young kid, you know, trying to find my way, you know, trying to figure my way, you know, moving around.
It's
as a young kid on his own, no mother, no father. I mean, I have them. It's not like they're
Do you
dead.
ever go back
to Jamaica? Yeah. I went back to Jamaica like 2 years ago, 2.5.
And so you have a daughter now too.
Got a daughter right now.
And she's what? She
just turned 2.
Just turned 2.
That's
awesome, man.
That's dope.
That's cool.
Yeah, bro. I'm blessed, bro.
You are, man.
I mean,
you are. So you're gonna take them on a little vacation this weekend? Is that what you're doing?
A little something.
That's cool.
Yeah, a little something.
Well, you guys going what? You going to Cali?
Going to Cali for a little bit.
Dude, I like going out there. It's nice. I don't think I could live there.
Yeah.
I don't think I could afford to live there.
Yeah.
And but a vacation there is nice, especially because you can get a, you know, spend a little time on the beach. You can go see different things. If you want to go do the actual California stuff with the kids, you can. Yeah. But she's 2, so you can get away with it a few more years before you have to sink all the money into Disney World or Disneyland, whatever one's out there. I don't know. I still have never been to that. Crystal's been trying to make me go.
Who knows? I'll probably even end up there. You know what I mean? You never know. I might just even pass through for a little bit, for a day or so.
Yeah, it looks cool, man. They got some cool stuff over there.
You know what I mean? You never know.
I can't believe they haven't done anything wild like that in Arizona. Like, there's so much land here. The weather, like, the only hard part is that it gets so hot in the summer. Half that stuff you couldn't go in there because you burn yourself if you touched half those rides in the summer.
True.
Trying to get on some of those rides and it's 118.
You never know. They could be, you know what I mean? They could build a whole indoor shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We were talking, you know, Crystal probably don't watch any of these, so I'm good. But she was saying we should do like a indoor-outdoor mini golf that has like bar stations set up where they like serve you drinks and food, kind of like Top Golf.
Okay.
And like, you know, got lights and all kinds of crazy stuff. And
straight up.
Kind of like that TV show that just came out with Steph Curry. They playing mini golf and crazy like shots, but it would just be nice to be able to just drink. And so I don't even really drink anymore, but still, it'd be funny to watch a bunch of drunk people out there trying to. That's when, I mean, Top Golf seems to work. You ever go do that?
Nah, never.
You play golf before?
Never played golf before.
Yeah, that's one of those sports that test your patience. You know, like I don't know why. I think we got into it up where I'm from because you know, it's the last place you can get drink and drive.
Okay.
You get in the cart, you can drink beer. You're not 21. Nobody's coming and checking to see if you're 21.
Okay.
So it starts there, and then kind of just morphs into being from a place with nothing to do. So you find something to do. You play golf. You know. I'm not good at it, so don't get it twisted or nothing.
It's all good.
You probably go out there and kick my ass right now.
It's all good. It's all good.
But yeah, it's what do you think of living in Arizona?
I like Arizona. Arizona is dope as shit. You know what I mean?
It's definitely neat. It gives you the opportunity to, you know.
Yeah. To me, Arizona, you know, have a lot of outdoor activities. You know, Arizona, you know, is good weather.
Yeah.
You know, good weather. You know,
what's the weather like on Jamaica typically? I mean, it's probably
Jamaica
nice.
Is pretty nice, humid, you know.
Yeah.
As opposed to Arizona with the dry heat, you know.
I like the dry heat better.
Yeah.
I come from the humidity and I don't.
Yeah. Me too.
Because I feel like when you have the humidity, you typically have more bugs too.
Yeah.
Like I've noticed that. Like back where we are.
You do.
You be standing there and some huge bug hits you in the face. You know.
You do.
Here the bugs will just kill you though.
Yeah.
Or they bite the shit out of you. I've had an ant problem this year, boy. I can't kill enough ants.
Yeah.
But the weather here, I keep trying to tell like my friends back home, because it's, you know, the weather's not always the greatest where I'm from.
Mm-hmm.
It's my sister's gonna be here at the end of the month, so I hope it's good for her. I hope she enjoys it. Like I hope that it's not too much, because they're gonna have their 2-year-old, 3-year-old. She'll be 3. Oh my God, is she already 3? I think she's 3.
Mm-hmm.
Time goes so fast, man.
Shit.
They're so smart too with these phones.
True.
Mm-hmm. Your 2-year-old playing with phones
every day.
How crazy is it when they're changing the YouTube videos and they know exactly what they're doing.
Yo, today my homie called me. I was in the shower, taking a shower. My daughter was, you know, in the room. My homie called my phone. My daughter answered the phone, put it on speaker, and brung it to the bathroom to me. Yeah. And I talked to homie, and when I done talking to homie, she hung up the phone and brung the phone back in the room. She just turned 2 last week.
That's crazy.
Yeah, bro.
When my niece was out here last year, when she was just turned 2, it was wild because same thing. She was on the phone and she was watching like videos and she's just swiping through them, and I was blown away by it, you know. So they sent her in to take a nap in the other room, and she had the phone watching whatever she was watching. Next thing you know, my wife's phone rings in FaceTime, and it's my niece, and she's like sitting in the bed in there, and we're like, dude, she's supposed to be sleeping right now. And she figured out how to like call from that phone.
Yeah, bro.
And like we've gone in there before, and she used to call like the same dude. She'd call one of my sister's friends, and she'd just be in there like, and he'd just talk to her on the phone because it's hilarious. She just gets going. So I'm excited because, you know, I don't have any kids. We've talked about it, and I know that now that she's going to be living here, having a 3-year-old running around, and, you know, she's going to be going with Uncle Keeks to go do stuff. So I figure at that point, it's probably, if I don't go for it by then
Sure.
I'm just gonna have to co-parent that one.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's cool though. They're just so
Yeah,
you worry
expensive.
like,
Yeah.
what do you do? Oh, they're expensive.
Expensive.
It's a lot of money, man. That's probably
And
why
a
I
lot
was
of
so
time,
scared.
too. Yeah, a
Oh
lot of
yeah,
time, you know,
and then you
require a
gotta
lot of
really
time.
pay attention too, cause like they're watching you.
Yeah, yeah.
Like
They
you-
learning, bro. They watch,
know.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
so you
Yeah.
can't like you think they're not paying attention,
Yeah,
and they
bro.
definitely are paying attention, and that's where you get in trouble.
Yeah. Makes you conscious of your action, more conscious of what you do, you know, around them, you know, because everything you do is influenced, you know,
Yeah.
to them, you know, towards them. Yeah.
I feel,
bro.
especially in the beginning, the first few years, I feel like I think for so many years people thought that it didn't matter because they were just a baby and they weren't paying attention, and I think they absorb so much.
Quick.
Like your brain's forming, but I think like it like subconsciously buries stuff. You know,
Yeah,
I mean,
bro.
it's rapidly growing, and it's
bro.
kind of like when you see like the chains in the trees.
Yeah.
You know, when they used to have a chain around a tree and the tree grows right around
Yeah,
it,
bro.
like you got to be careful, man. You're putting those chains in there. You're
Yeah,
putting
bro.
thoughts, and like at 2 when they're doing this stuff, and you're like,
Makes you
what the hell was going on when I was 2?
Yeah.
What was I doing when I was 2? I mean, you didn't have these, but like it makes you think a little bit, like
True.
what was my stimulation?
True.
Like,
true.
I'm not saying anything negative. I just
True.
I know it's not like my
get
mom
you.
could have mustered up an iPhone for me.
Nah,
but like, here you
and
go.
that's the
But
thing.
I know that we did flashcards and we did, you know, blocks and colors and all those crazy things and painting. Like, I was the first. I'm the oldest. So like, I think I was probably spoiled in that sense
Okay.
a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, it didn't really. I guess it didn't work out.
True.
I'm not a scientist or
True,
anything
true.
like that, but it worked out good, you know.
True.
I feel like my communication skills were always good as a little kid because there was so many people around talking to me.
True.
And now, look, I just don't shut up.
True. But that's the thing, though. Like, when we were coming up, is a totally different time from now.
I know.
You know, like, we didn't have half the things that these kids have today. You know?
No.
Like, we're coming literally from a slower era, you know? And I think the further you go back in time is the slower it get in terms of certain certain
Bro,
things.
I had multiple sticks that
Yeah.
were like different toys.
Yeah.
Like, I had different sticks.
Yeah,
That were like,
that's what
now
I'm
kids
saying.
have like an iPhone, an iPad.
Yeah.
They got the Xbox.
Yeah.
Like, I had extra sticks, and I
Yeah.
had like a sai and like maybe some nunchucks.
Yeah.
That was my. I remember, but then again, I remember my grandmother used to send me knives. And bro, I had too many knives. I had so many. I just used to break knives because I would just stand out in the woods and just like throw them at trees, and they were like not meant. They were like things from like hardware stores, like when there was like the rack with like the cool handled. You remember when they used to always have like cool handled blade knives and stuff? They were all like the same buck knife, but they had different designs.
Yeah.
My grandparents would like buy out, you know, stores and shit like that when they were in the auction business.
Okay.
So they would send me these knives.
Okay.
And dude, I probably broke every single one of those knives.
Damn.
I still got a couple nice ones somewhere that I know that they were like good knives, but dude, I just used to whip those things at trees. I thought I was like one of the Ninja Turtles or some shit. Like,
That's what I'm saying. To me, we had more like physical interaction growing up, you know.
yeah.
You know, whether it was playing with something physically, you know, as opposed to more mentally with, you know, like a device.
Yeah.
You know, and you more using your brain more than your actual, you know,
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be crazy to see what it produces.
Yeah.
Because if you're thinking the generation before us and our generation are creating some of the things that are being created today, these young kids, I mean, if your daughter she grasped the concept of this digital device at this point, like, what's she going to be like when she's 12? You know what I mean? What is it going to be like when they're 20? That's going to be wild. And that's the crazy part, is that's 22 years. You know, that I'm going to be in my 50s.
Mm-hmm. But still.
Late 50s, like, but I'm still going to be like, I hang out with dudes right now that are in their 50s You know what I mean? And they're just like cool. Like I feel like it's when I'm hanging out with you. So like, what are we gonna be experiencing?
Years
We're
to come.
50.
Yeah,
Holy
the next
shit.
20, 30 years. That's the thing.
That's a wild concept.
I know.
I'd sit there and dwell on that sometimes. Like, you think of some of the easy shit like Uber.
Yeah.
You know, like, come on, bro.
Yeah, bro.
There's so many of those little things.
So many.
That, you know, I even said it to the pool guys back when I worked at the other company. So it was well over like 4 or 5 years ago. I used to say they should make this app for pool guys that when they go in the backyard, they have their route, they click, you know, Johnson, it starts their camera, they stick it in a sleeve like a cop does a body camera, they go in the backyard, they do their stuff, they click it, it's done. It's just like the Nest. And everybody laughed. It was before the Nest. And everybody was like, no, dude, nobody wants to see a video of you in their backyard. And I'm like, all right, man. And I just was like, it was just an idea. We were just talking about like how progression in the pool industry is going to go technology-wise. And that was one of the first things I said. And then I started seeing that they have cameras that they put on pool poles now. And they're doing that stuff. And there's definitely a bunch of little avenues that we're always trying to make it easier. We're always trying to make it faster. That's why Amazon, that's, you know, they want to make it so you don't got to leave the house, man.
True. And you're right. Eventually, you know, that's where, you know, the future is headed towards. Yeah. You know.
A lot of stuff you're going to work right from home.
Of course.
You know, the human interaction, though, I can't believe that it's going to go away.
Eventually.
Because how... Like do you watch Black Mirror at all?
Nah.
Oh my God.
Nah.
Yeah, I don't want to say it's like crazy. I mean, it is really good, but it's one of those things where it's how technology is with us. It's like our version of the Twilight Zone, but it's with technology, and it's kind of like based like relatively in the future, just a little bit, sometimes more or less, but I mean, a lot of those things are coming that they talk about, and it's kind of how we react and how we go to it. It's on Netflix. If you ever get a chance, look at Black Mirror, bro. It'll blow your mind. But it's wild to think, like, you know, you could just be sitting here, and it's always about how you're gonna make something easier for somebody. It is like and now it's all about your data. Everything's about your data. Every time you click agree on your phone, you're giving someone the right to do something. And it's wild, dude.
Yeah,
like,
bro. We living in a different time, bro.
How far do you feel like, because it's all in your pocket now, like even when you go home, if you go back to Jamaica, it's still, now they're on that level where like before you would go to like the Bronx and go back home before cell phones, and it was like time warp. And there's still, I'm sure, situations where you go and you're like, whew, they don't even like.
Yeah, but the thing of it is
but
that
there is places that are up to snuff. They're on the same level playing field as everybody else.
Everywhere.
And
everywhere, Keegan. Yeah.
That thing should attempt to shut off here in a minute. I want to see it though. I'm gonna watch it. I'm telling you, man. It's so hard doing this podcast by yourself because you got to kind of pay attention to all the little things. Like that thing will probably stop recording in like 20 seconds.
It's all good.
But you figure it out.
Yeah.
Like you said, the grind. You just keep figuring out a new way to grind it out, and
yeah, bro.
That's why I was super pumped when you said you were coming over today, because I was like, yes, dude.
Yeah,
I didn't think you were gonna. When you said you were leaving tomorrow, I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna shoot for it and see if he wants to come over and hang.
I'm gonna pull up, bro. You already know, bro. You already know I'm gonna pull up on you. Yeah.
I'm a break, and you know, Duran and I just went down this little path of old school, not even old school hip hop. The sad part is that will be called old school hip hop here in about like 5 years. But we were just talking about all the G Unit and 50 Cent and all that crew and the Dipset crew and dude,
D Block.
And the funny part is a lot of my friends back home, they know that stuff because I was so obsessed with it. Like I remember Christmas. you always get your big present, and a lot of years, there was a few years that I like dispersed my big present out and to like get me this album, this album, this album, this album, this album. So like I would just have like all these smaller presents, and I knew they were all CDs. And like, dude, that was probably like my glory Christmas time, was getting like new hip hop. Like I remember when the Dynasty Jay-Z album came out, and dude, all that stuff, like shit.
Yeah,
Those
bro.
were good times.
Yeah, bro.
Ja Rule. People forget how friggin'
the 2000s.
Bro.
That's basically the 2000s.
Yeah,
right there.
2000 through 2004. But then like after that, then you had like Lil Wayne and all them just exploded.
Yeah.
So like I felt like we had a really fun run. Like the music was fun. It went from being like super violent to like fun violent. Like you could bang like a G-Unit thing in your car, and like it was fun.
Yeah,
but it was still like,
yeah,
we'll fuck you up.
Yeah, like I said, 50 Cent influenced the neighborhood greatly, influenced a lot of kids.
Yeah.
I'm telling you. G-Unit, don't get me wrong, they're hit makers, they make a lot of good music.
Yeah.
But on, hood shit, they influence a lot of kids,
He's a hustler. I mean, look, every post you see now is like, I'm gonna need that money by Monday.
Yeah.
Like, he ain't playing, bro. Yeah, no. And he just always comes out on top, and you just see somebody that's just gonna grind.
Yeah. I respect 50. I respect 50 Cent a little bit. I mean, I don't know. For some reason, I respect Jay-Z. I respect P. Diddy. But 50 come up, to me, I can identify with that a little bit more, because, it's like he came from nothing to something, like he came from, fucked up beginning, you know what I mean? Yeah, from the neighborhood, the treacherous neighborhood, treacherous outside Jamaica.
Well, Jay came from some pretty rough stuff.
Yeah.
He was slanging and selling drugs to do what he had to do.
Yeah.
Not that should be glorified, but I mean, shit, that's what they were doing out there at that time.
True.
But being from New England, like East Coast hip hop was just so big for me. And then when it started to trickle south, it was still a lot of fun. You know? And I don't think I quite realized that it was like changing the landscape of how, music was being made.
True.
Like when T-Pain came out and did auto-tune, it was over.
Yeah.
Rap really took a complete shift.
Yeah.
Lil Wayne and all those guys. And once it shifted, now you got these guys that are really trying to find like melody pockets, and they're not rapping as hard. But you have the rapidy rap dudes. You got JID, and you got some of those dudes, Reason and Logic, and what's the other? Joyner Lucas, and some of those guys. They all try to rap at a pretty good pace.
Still a lot of nice rappers out there. What's his name? This kid from Harlem. What's his name? The kid that Nas signed.
Ooh, I don't know.
Yeah, that kid, man. He's dope. He's playing this new thing as Method Man in like some type of series. What's his name? Yeah,
Let's
man.
find out.
The Dominican kid. That kid is dope from New York City right now.
Oh man, we gotta find out right now.
Yeah, man. Harlem kid. That kid is dope. Yeah. That kid is like one of the dopest kids in New York I've heard in a long time, Yeah, bro. Uncle Murder them still rapping that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's still a lot of nice rappers out there, hardcore rap. You know what I mean?
From Harlem.
Yeah, what's his name, man? This kid, man. Dope kid, man. Forgot his name.
It's not Dave East.
Dave East.
It is Dave East.
That's the kid.
Dave East is fire.
Dave East is nice.
Yeah.
Dave East is nice.
You listen to that kid, The Baby?
The Baby.
He's new.
The Baby's nice. He's all right. I haven't really heard too much of his stuff. I heard like one song or so. It's pretty cool. But Dave,
I like him. He's got some.
Yeah.
I like it that it's different. But like Dave, you're talking. That's New York hip hop.
Yeah, that's New York hip hop. That's hip hop.
Yep. And that's definitely the stuff that I grew up on. The funny part is I definitely drifted toward the melodies though. Once the stuff started happening in Atlanta and stuff like that, and you had a lot of this. I mean, even Kendrick really is digging for a lot of this,
Everywhere, everybody's doing it,
and
everybody's
I love it.
Doing it now.
I mean, I really like it. That's always I just like music, man, and that's if it
course.
gives you that feel.
Of course.
You know, but it took me a minute to adjust. I remember when that Future album came out, and they were trying to cram that. It was like Dirty Sprite 2, and they were trying to cram that shit down your throat. Yeah. And I was not having it, man. I was just like, I'm not listening to this album. You're advertising it too much.
True.
And then I broke, and I listened to it, and I was like, oh my God, it's such a good album.
It's
and
dope.
now I'm a huge Future fan. You know, I think it sucks that he glorified pills and all that stuff for so long that now he's in this weird pocket where, like, I think it's pretty obvious his skin looks way too good for somebody who's drinking that much lean and popping that many pills, so he's not doing them. And
I don't know what the guy's doing.
He's not doing them, bro, and he's still making music. You know, I think he's cut back. I think he said he was going to stop doing that. But that's hard, like, when that's your moneymaker and you started rapping about it because you were doing it, and, like...
Only thing I know about Future is that his music is good. I don't know
good.
Shit about what he do personally or what he don't do.
Yeah.
I hear things, but I don't know, man.
I like how you roll. That's good.
Yeah,
just block it all out.
Yeah.
You ever go hunting?
Never went hunting.
No? You never went into, like, you ever go to, like, upstate New York or anything when you were there?
Not in the woods.
So you never been to any of those, like, I call them hick towns, when you get up into the, like... the crazy white people towns, you know, where they can just walk outside and shoot like rifles. That's where I'm from. Yeah, crazy shit, baby.
That's why I don't be in them parts of town.
You would love it though. That's the crazy, but you would have so much fun. If I took you back where I'm from, you'd be like, why didn't you stay? Why? Like to you would probably enjoy it unless you wanted to be in the city life. It's so laid back in a sense. Like if you owned the property, right? Like if you owned 2 acres where I'm from, which is a good amount of property. It's not huge, but it's a good amount of property.
Yeah, 2 acres is decent land.
And you had your house, and there wasn't like a house directly behind you, and you had a good chunk of forest, like an acre of forest, and you wanted to just go out there and shoot your guns.
You could do that.
Yeah, man.
That's dope.
Yeah, our rules are very similar to here, but like there's so many trees and so many mounds and hills, and you know, you used to be able to walk outside. You still can walk outside my dad's house and just shoot. There's like, it's like a very steep hill that goes pretty far up, and then it levels off, and there's just fields upon fields. So shooting into this, it's an embankment at that point. You could never get through it. You know, there's so many bullets in that hill from my brother and I shooting into it. But nobody would ever say anything, dude. It just sounded like military training going on down there some days.
Dope, bro.
And you could just ride 4-wheelers and dirt bikes like all over the place, and snowmobiles and dude, snowmobiling's pretty cool. Like I hate being cold. So that's hard. Like that's what I was gonna ask you, is how you dealt with the cold when you were.
Fuck with the cold.
No, you probably didn't like that. Huh?
That's why I live out here.
I couldn't do it. I did it for many years, but god damn, it hurts. Like my whole body just shuts right down. Like I moved furniture there most of the time, so like sometimes you would load a truck and it would be, you know, you load it and there's no way you could unload it that same day or whatever. So the truck would sit overnight.
Damn.
And now all that stuff is in the truck, is sitting there for, you know,
freezing.
And sometimes you got to go out in the morning and go unload that truck. Man, that was so painful. You got to like hold everything. Shoveling snow is just a pain in the ass. Because it's like someone standing above you laughing at you while you're doing it, and they're just dumping more shit like over the top of the shit you just did. Like if you have OCD, the last thing you want to be around is snow falling and while you got to clear a path. So that, for us, it was fun moving out here, man. Like it was a journey. And my sister's going to be out here pretty soon, and I can't wait to have her on the podcast because I want to hear her journey.
Definitely.
Because, you know, similar, we have our parents, but they're not, like, we do this. You know what I mean? Like, my parents are good parents. My dad's a great guy, and he's helped me. He helped me before I left by letting me live with him for a few months, and you know, I don't know if I would have needed anything, or if I didn't need any money at the time because I did real well making money right before I left. But we did all this on our own, so I know how exciting the journey is to do the travel and to drive cross country And now you're in a totally different place. Like where I'm from, there's no palm trees. You lived in New York. There's no palm trees.
Yeah.
So when you get out here, the first thing you do is like, to us, that means vacation.
Yeah.
Because our vacation's Florida.
Yeah.
So that's it's gonna be pretty wild for her to. I remember the first thing that really stuck me when I got here was like, oh, I live with like palm trees around now. Like I did it. I made it.
Yeah.
There's palm trees, man.
Yeah.
I'm on vacation all the time.
Yeah.
And I really haven't lost that, man. Like I really still enjoy looking at the palm trees and stuff. But when I do go home and I see all the big trees back where I'm from and the forest and stuff, and bro, when you drive down the road where I'm from, in some spots the trees will be touching each other over the road.
Yeah. That's
like
some
it's
shit.
crazy, bro. Like you're in like a tunnel of trees.
Yeah.
So it's definitely totally different environment. So I'm excited to hear what my sister's gone through and what it feels like to do it on your own and to come out here and experience all that stuff. So same thing for you. Like I know it had to have been an insane journey to be bouncing back and forth. Did you drive all those times back and forth?
I would move around in different ways, So for a long time, yeah, you're right. For the first couple of years, I was driving on a Greyhound bus, shit like that,
Yeah, that's
I
it's wild when you're doing all that. I went up and down the East Coast many times, moving furniture and stuff, and like that Jersey Turnpike sucks, bro.
Yeah, bro.
That's a bitch.
Yeah, gee.
That was like the
not
worst.
Not even though. You know what? The worst is, driving from New York to Cali on the bus for like 3 days and shit, like 2.5 days, bro. Yeah, that's the worst. You know what I mean? Yeah, bro. Your armpit be stinking ain't shit. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, bro. You literally have to.
They just don't stop? Like, what do you guys. How'd that work?
No, they stop. But I mean, you got to remember,
Well,
you
I know,
take a
but
shower
like,
for 2 days,
No, yeah, they don't stop nowhere for you to be able to do any of that stuff?
Yeah, they do.
But you're like, nah, we're just going to knock this out real quick.
I mean, they don't really stop nowhere for you to take a shower like that. Because you got to remember, the Greyhound, when you driving, they probably stop at one spot for like 10 minutes and another for like 20. So, as a kid.
Enough for you to get food and stuff like that?
Yeah, shit like that. Maybe if you want to go do a number 2, you could go. But for like shower and shit, nah, Yeah, you just do your thing and come back on for like 2 days on the bus, bro. Like, that's rough. Yeah, bro. Yeah, I used to travel like that before I started flying on the plane. Yeah, one day I was like, yo, why the fuck I'm,
And the price ain't too much different, maybe double.
Yeah, I'm like, yo, nah. I'm done with this.
I don't blame you.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Did you drink a lot of water when you lived on the East Coast?
Nah.
You did? Because I never did, man. I never drank water. I was thinking about this. I was trying to get down to my like 3rd bottle of water yesterday, and I just couldn't do it. And I did it, but I was thinking about how crazy it is because it's everywhere, right? Bottles in the store. You can just walk up to a place here, and they got to give you water, like because it's so hot. Have you ever been in a situation where you didn't have water, really? Or you were like rationed?
No, I always kind of had water.
So like,
but I mean,
I was on a cruise a couple years ago, and I wouldn't say I wasn't rationed, but like, first of all, water is expensive. You don't just like, we had the unlimited drink cards, so you could drink booze until you turn blue in the face, but you don't get to get water with it, and you can't get like drinks like that. You get soda, but you can't get bottles of water. You could get a cup of water.
See?
But, like, I don't want a cup of water. Like, I probably should have been drinking cups of water. But you want the water, like, at the end of the night, when you wake up in the morning. And I remember, like, at certain hours, like, shit shuts down. You can't, like, go buy new stuff. You can't get bottles of water. And dude, they had like the glass bottles in our fridge in the room that were like $20 for a bottle of water, and I drank it. And like, I remember trying to ration it out because I just dropped $20 on a bottle of water, and it was delicious. And I'm thinking to myself, like, I can't get through 3 bottles of water, but boy, when I wasn't allowed to have no water, I could have drank a case of water. It was so delicious. It could have been toilet water, bro. I would have just kept drinking it. It was so good. And then like you got it all the time, and it's like I constantly see bottles of water in my truck, and I gotta dump them out because they got hot. Because you ain't supposed to drink those, whatever. But I was just thinking about that today. I was thinking about when we were on the cruise, and like I was like scavenging through the hallways, hoping like somebody like left a full bottle of water out or something I could snag, because I was dying, bro. They don't have no water fountains.
Damn.
And you're surrounded by water.
Surrounded by water.
Yeah.
Can't drink that water though.
No. Yeah, we went to, where did we go? Bermuda? That's a cool place.
Bermuda.
Yeah.
How is it? Kind of like Jamaica?
It's beautiful. It's so clean.
Okay.
Like so clean. I went to the Bahamas. The Bahamas was cool because I stayed at Atlantis when I went to the Bahamas. So that was really neat. It's a really cool resort. But outside of the island, it was kind of, or outside of the resort, it was, I don't want to call it dangerous because I didn't really go travel, but I was told, like, you guys probably should just chill. Like, you don't want to go get into, like, the dudes that went out to the club said that it was pretty wild and that it probably should have stayed back. Like, they almost got their ass kicked a few times. So
in the Bahamas.
Yeah, and I almost got robbed in a McDonald's during broad daylight.
Oh, word?
Like, it was scary, bro. Like, the guys just started freaking out. I had my passport on me and shit. I was so scared. I had a key on me, like just a key, like my mailbox key, and I was like, it's getting in your neck, bro. I'm gonna get out of here with this passport, and I'm getting back to the bus.
I feel
and but I got lucky, and but when we went to Bermuda, dude, it was so perfect. Like it was probably just one of the happiest times on vacation I've been. Like everybody was so calm, and all the people that lived on the island were just relaxed, and even at one point when I started getting nervous because like I knew the signs, like we were on the island at night partying on a beach, and like a lot of locals came up and they kind of started surrounding us a little bit, and I could feel them like closing in. I was like, yeah, it's time to roll. We might, you just got to be careful. And they're probably super cool, but at the same time, like if you jack me for the $80 in my wallet. What am I gonna do? Call the police, and I'm not gonna know who you were, where you were. Like, you got my $80. Like, so I was like, time to get back, so we keep this cash in our pockets, But nobody did nothing, man. Like, shit, one of the ladies from the boat stomped on my shoes. I almost threw her overboard, boy. She was the only one that was overstepping her boundaries, and she was from the boat.
Right.
You ever been on a cruise?
Never been on a cruise.
It's weird. It's cool. It's a lot of fun.
Okay.
But when you get out of the cruise for like a week, bro, it still feels like you're on the boat. Like, feels like you're swaying. So it's pretty wild.
Wow.
But, well, man, it's getting late. I don't want to keep you here too late because I know you guys driving out there tomorrow? Is that what you're doing? Yeah. So, wait. So one of the things I wanted to ask you, you've been doing some Ubering?
Yep.
You've been doing Uber?
Ubering, yep.
So maybe I have you back on soon, maybe in the next week or two, a couple weeks. Yeah. I'd love to hear some stories because I'm sure by now you got to have a couple good ones, bro.
Got a little here and there.
You got to have a couple.
Because,
I mean, you driving Uber Black?
Nah.
Oh, okay.
Nah, not the Uber Black.
Dude, because I was wondering, like, there's got to be some crazy people that get in those Ubers. Where's the main places that you pick people up most of the time?
Mostly, Scottsdale, Old Town Scottsdale, Tempe.
So you get in when they're coming out of the bars and stuff like that?
Yeah, bro, all that. All that. I like it, I like it. It's pretty cool, you know what I mean?
You get some good tips?
Here and there, depends. Different weeks is different,
Yeah.
Yeah. Different waves of people, And like I didn't know that there was a season here in Arizona, So apparently the season starts from September until like May, So now is considered like the slow season, So the high season is from September to like May.
Because it's beautiful.
Exactly, That's when all the snowbirds come in. That's when the college kids, are here. You know what I mean? And yeah, bro, a lot of activities, the waste management openings,
Have you
spring
been to that?
training. Nah, well,
I'll take you next year if you want to go.
I
Or
gotta
this year, if you want to take one of the night or one of the days or something, if you want to go in there and check it out,
hell yeah.
I get passes every year.
Okay.
I would love to take you to it
Hell yeah.
because you will have fun.
See?
Like we'll go in there and have some drinks. We can catch
bro.
an Uber out of there, bro. It don't even
bro.
matter.
It's whatever. I'm with it.
I always have a good time in there, man. We get up into the 16th hole, partying, drinks.
That's dope.
It's pretty wild, and
That's dope.
dude, that's not a problem. I'll take you there, but
It's all good.
that's got to be cool though. I've always wondered, like some of the Uber people that pick me up are freaking awesome, dude.
Yeah, bro.
Like I have fun talking to them.
Hell yeah.
I try not to be too weird. I've had like forgot shit in the Uber and they've like swung back and dropped it off, and they're.
Yeah, that's dope.
I just always try to make sure I tip, because like I want to make sure if they. Do you guys get to rate the customers?
Yeah.
I think I got a good rating on my Uber.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I'm like 4.8 or something like that. Somebody must have gave me a low ranking.
Okay.
I was probably drunk.
It's all good, you gotta remember, in life everybody not gonna like you, you know what I mean? So
Everybody has to like me.
Nah,
You have to like me, man.
Everybody not gonna like. Yo, Keegan, it doesn't matter what you do in life. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter, bro. You could dot all your I's, cross all your T's.
Oh yeah, it's gonna piss somebody off because you crossed all your.
Not even
I's
you don't even
dotted
gotta piss
T's.
them off. It's just life.
Yeah.
It's just life. Somebody probably see you and don't like your bald head. They don't like the way you smile or your voice or you just.
That's gotta
just
suck.
not gonna like
That's
you
gotta
like.
suck though. Like if you're one of those people that just like. I mean, I guess I've had it where I just am like, oh yeah, I don't like this person. I'm annoyed by him. Instantly, I'm annoyed by him.
Something, you know what I mean?
But like, I feel like that person's typically felt that way by most people. Like I don't just pick a cool person. Like I know he's cool.
Mm-hmm.
I know he's cool. Like everything about him, I hear, but I don't like him.
Yeah.
I don't ever get that vibe. I feel like my vibe's pretty. I would rather be the happy person. Like. I like to give everybody the shot and the benefit of the doubt. There's a few people out there though that I just get like they've never technically done anything to me, but they rub you the wrong way.
Yeah.
You ever wanted to have to kick somebody out of Uber?
Yeah, here and there.
Really?
Yeah.
Some people are just rude, huh?
Yeah, man. I remember one night I had to like pull over and shit, and like, yeah, bro, I had to give. It was like a girl or a mom and like a dude, The dude was cool. The dude was like in the front. He was like super cool. But the chick was like drunk. Apparently she had just got like kicked out of a club. So she was already mad as shit, And apparently, the mom, couldn't really say shit to her, So she was just going off and just rambling, just saying all type of wild shit. Yeah, bro, I had to pull over like, yo, listen to me. You're gonna chill out. You know what I mean? No more disrespect, no more rude shit. You know what I mean?
Damn.
Yeah, it's either that or you're gonna hop out right now. I'm gonna leave you right here. You know what I mean? So just allow me to take you where I'm taking you in one piece and chill.
Yeah, man. People gotta learn to chill out with the Uber, man. You got some person you don't even know. Like you don't know their driving skill. You don't know none of that.
You don't know nothing about
You're looking
them.
at some stars on an app like that. And
That's
half the
it.
time that might not be the dude. Like I'm hearing that's a thing now too. Is that like a couple dudes that look close enough, and they just be like picking. I heard some people just be getting picked up by a chick that's supposed to be a dude driving the Uber. Like, like I heard about this stuff, and so. You guys gotta be chill with the person driving you, because you don't know what the hell. Like you don't know that person. Like you don't. Why are you talking wild? This ain't the internet.
Right.
Like, you gotta stop acting like it's the internet.
Bro. Yo,
I messed up one time and got off a plane in Oklahoma, and I didn't realize I was in Oklahoma, and I thought I was going to Texas.
Yeah.
And I had already, I think, pissed the people off on the plane as it was, and so I got off the plane. And I went out and I stood by the curb and I was like messing around on my phone and I was trying to order an Uber. And as I was ordering the Uber, I ordered it and it was like $500. And I was like, oh, I don't know if they're going to let me expense this one. What did I do? So I go back in and I found one of the dudes working the baggage claim. And I'm like, bro, what's wrong with Uber over here?
Mm-hmm.
What's up with your Uber?
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. And I'm like, because I had the location, the hotel location saved in the Uber from the last time I was in Texas.
Mm-hmm.
So I just re-hit it, and it was $500. And I was like, nah, bro. I remember it being like $40, $35.
How was that?
So as I'm asking this dude, like, what's up with the Uber, bro? I hear my name getting called over the intercom that I need to come back to the plane. And I like looked at the guy and I was like, where am I? And he's like, bro, you're in Oklahoma. I thought I was in Texas.
Damn.
So I had to like run back through security and get back on the plane. And everybody was like clapping for me and shit when I got on the plane because they all realized I was the idiot that got up and ran off the plane like a moron and then like went and stood by the curb, ordered a $500 Uber. I had to cancel it. And then, yeah, so that's my Uber story. Like,
all good.
I've had some good Uber rides out here, but
okay.
that one I was like, what the fuck did I do wrong, bro? How $500?
It is what it is.
Uber's different down here in Texas. Everything's big in Texas, even your Uber bill. Like, holy shit.
It's all good. You was probably on that good. You know what
I was like, what is going on, man? That high altitude got me feeling loopy, bro. It was wild. So, dude, think of some good stories for me, and when you get back, man, hit me up. We should definitely do this. I'd love to do a music podcast with you one day. We can talk about some new stuff, some old stuff, stuff that you grew up listening to, stuff I grew up listening to, which I'm going to guess that we're not far off in what we listen to.
True.
But I bet there was a few things that you listened to that I didn't listen to.
True.
And you'd be surprised. I probably listened to a lot of stuff that was made over where you came from.
You never know.
Because I listened to a lot of that stuff growing up, bro. I love that shit.
Yeah, bro.
I remember the first time I listened to Buju Banton, I was young, and I probably botched that saying it. My bad.
It's all good.
Banton. Is it Banton?
Yeah, Banton.
It's not Banton. It's Banton.
Banton. Yeah.
So, yeah, I remember the first time I listened to him, I was young. He's like white, isn't he?
Huh?
I saw a picture of him the other day. Why did he look like Pitbull to me? I was like, wait a minute. There's something wrong. It must not be the right person.
Yeah, that ain't the right person. Buju Banton is black like me.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, bro.
There he is. Yeah, he's super black.
Yeah, bro.
All right,
like
cool.
Me.
All right, cool. So I was losing my mind that day.
Yeah.
I wonder who it was I saw that I thought was somebody else. That's weird. But yeah, I used to listen to a lot of music like that because I just liked stuff that you could some of the hip hop back then you couldn't dance to.
Like what?
Back like after like around Tupac and stuff like that, there wasn't some of the Tupac stuff you could dance to, but I was listening to like Eminem.
Okay.
And stuff like that when Eminem came out.
Okay. Yeah.
You know, DMX.
Yeah.
There was a couple songs, Ja Rule, I guess you could dance to, but I really like that, like reggaeton and stuff like that. So, but hey, man, thank you for coming through, Duran. I really appreciate it. Safe travels, brother.
Without a doubt,
and we'll see you again here soon.
Yes,
Thanks
sir.
for listening to the Bernie Dyke podcast.
Yes,
Stop
sir.
that timer. That we got to go home and go to bed, man. Everybody needs to go to sleep.
Yeah,
So
man.
signing out. Have a good night. Thanks for coming, brother.
Bless up. Bless.